It's Cami, and I hope we are coming in loud and clear because I have an amazingly beautiful, smart, talented guest today. And I actually found her on Instagram. I have been on Instagram a lot more lately than I have been on Facebook. I actually did kind of like a clearing of clutter, detox of social media for the last about month now, and it feels really amazing. So I've been on Instagram, and I see this beautiful girl from Seattle. Her name is Meagan, and she goes by Mimi, and she is a nutrition and lifestyle coach right here in Seattle, and I'm interviewing her tonight. So everyone, welcome Mimi.
Hi.
Hello. So we had a bit of technical difficulty earlier, so I apologize for anyone who is getting in earlier, but we are still in the beginning stages of all this fancy technology, and sometimes it just does not work out the way I want it
to. But we're here. We made it.
We made it. And so, Mimi, tell us a little bit about who you are, what you're bringing to the world, because I feel like you are just on the rise of your career taking off, and I just love your message. So will you share that with us?
Yes. So, well, by trade, I am a dental hygienist, and about a year and a half ago, I got really passionate about nutrition and proper nutrition and kind of the science behind it. I was always kind of like a healthy person, was really active, played sports, tried to eat right, but then something clicked where I was like, I want to know like the science behind it. I want to know why this works and why this doesn't. And so I kind of delved into different podcasts and books and research articles and things like that. And I knew that I wanted to have something official. I wanted to have like a certification or something. And because my family and friends started coming to me and like, hey, can you help me with this? Can you make a meal plan? Can you help me with this workout? And I'm like, well, I'm not really trained. I just know what works for me. And so then I got a certification through Precision Nutrition and to be an exercise nutrition coach. And so it's been really awesome. I love Precision Nutrition and everything that they teach. So that's been great. That was in April. And then since then, I started my own business called MimiFit. And I was nicknamed Mimi by my family. So it fit. And I've just been coaching clients. I've been helping them with their nutrition and lifestyle. And really my focus is individualized, habit-based changes. So instead of handing someone like a cookie cutter, here's your meal plan, here's your exercise routine, have fun. It's like, all right, what are your goals? What are you trying to do? What are you trying to work towards? And what's your baseline? Where are we starting out? And we work on one habit at a time. And I really try to focus on more of like disease prevention is my huge thing. It's like what I'm really passionate about because I think there's just so much of it in the world right now. And it seems like it's almost inevitable, right? Like 1 out of 2 people getting cancer. It's crazy. And so if I can help educate people on how to prevent that, that's what I want to do. I'm really passionate about it. And I want to empower people and let people know that you do have a choice. You always have a choice. And just knowing that little changes over time can really kind of like add up to a healthy, sustainable, manageable lifestyle. And I think that's what we're after is a lifestyle that's not like work where it's like, oh, I'm constantly dieting, I'm constantly in deprivation. It's more of like, we work on little things at a time to reach a status, I guess, that's just kind of effortless. And so that's my goal, is to educate and empower people and just let them know and help them along the way and know that it's a journey and it's going to take time, but you're going to get there. It's inevitable.
I love that. So we're going to start with me tonight because I have lots of problems that you can work out. This is like my trouble area. I don't know why, but nutrition is so hard for me. It has always been the biggest just thorn in my side because I'm always on the go. I live in two different places. My family is all over the place. And so I live out of my car. And I've tried to implement, like you said, those really small changes. So for example, let's just say hypothetically, somebody just kind of goes to Taco Time if they're in a hurry because, it's accessible and it's right there. So what little change would you give to this, person who just happens to pop into Taco Time a little too often?
Yeah. Well, I think 98% of the world struggles with that as well. I think it's not easy for, I don't think, really anyone. But if someone found themselves in Taco Time a little bit too much during the week, what I would say is if you're on the go, there are, one, you can pack ahead of time. Like if you're just kind of running around town, you can, make sure you're stocked, your fridge is stocked with healthier items and bring those with you. Or if you're really out on the go and you're not able to do that, finding something that is maybe like a healthier option, like a Whole Foods or a natural market where you can go and you can build your own salad, or you can get whole foods, right? Because drive-through, even if they're giving you a salad, like really it's like borderline ingredients, and you're better off finding something where you can build your own meal where you know everything that's in it. And the problem with I think just going through a drive-through or getting fast food is that you don't know what's in it, and the things that you do know are in it are not good either.
I know this is so bad. So when I'm trying to be like vegetarian, because I am an animal nut, I love animals. You stick me in a room with any animal, and I'm like, that is my go-to Snow White happy place. And I just want to also tell you that Brenda Gamble says this is awesome info. Marissa Edwards says, love you, Megan. You're such an inspiration to me. Aww. And Kat Davis says, love you, boo.
Oh,
I just wanted to let you know we are getting some Facebook love out of the comments today. And I really just appreciate that because, it's a hard topic. Everybody struggles with this, right? And I really struggle with trying to maintain this balance of a busy lifestyle. Yeah, I want to feed my body some good soulful food. So what is your favorite go-to snack quick bar that you kind of either prepare ahead of time? What exactly does Mimi take? Because I need some Mimi information here.
So if I'm on the go, I don't do a lot of pre-made bars or protein bars, or I just don't, because most of them are really processed. Even the Power bars or the Cliff bars or whatever, if you look on the ingredient list, there's 60 ingredients in there. And a lot of times the first 3 are different forms of sugar. So yes, there might be protein in there, but there's also going to be a lot of sugar. So my go-to that I would bring with me would be, if you can overdose on veggies all the time, you can eat as many veggies as you want. Carrots, snap peas, broccoli, you could do hard-boiled eggs. You could do nuts. Nuts are great because they're really filling. They have really good fats where they're going to hold you over, where, you could have that before you leave the house and then be out for a couple hours, and you don't need to eat during those, that time. But there are a few bars that are okay. Mark Sisson, Primal Kitchen has really good stuff. Quest bars are pretty good. Just look for ones that don't have 60 ingredients. If you're gonna grab a bar, look for one that has 5 or 6 ingredients or less. And look for one that has more protein than it does sugar, which is also very hard to do. So there's options out there, but my main things would be, load up on veggies and take as many as you want. Nuts and seeds, and hard-boiled eggs are really good. But yeah, those would be my go-tos.
I love that. So I'm gonna I have been trying so hard. I am telling you, I don't know why, but the grocery store gives me such anxiety. I think because there's so many choices and there's so much noise at the grocery store, right? And so I feel like for a lot of people, especially like me, when they just got done binge watching the Kardashians, and they're like, oh, they're doing this thing now. They're doing an anti-inflammatory diet. Their adrenal diet, gluten-free. There's just so much noise in the health and wellness department. And so what I really love is that you're saying, hey, I want to look at your current lifestyle and what few tweaks can we implement that's going to be lasting change, that's going to really break through for you. Mm-hmm. And so what we're talking about is kind of feeling more confident about the choices that we're making. And one thing that a client brought up to me recently, it was so cool. He was telling me we were organizing the kitchen space, right? And that's something that I love to organize because there's so many gadgets, or there's so many, again, different options, a lot of clutter. And something that I saw you post recently was how you made this quick, beautiful breakfast in what they call these Instapots.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh! If you don't have an Instapot, you have to get one. It's literally like.
But I need you to sell me on an Instapot, because one, I've heard it replaces like so many gadgets in your kitchen, which I love, because you can see mine here at the farm is like super small. I have like no space, no oven, so that kind of like compiles mental stress for me that I want to wade through. So tell me about what you're doing with the Instapot, because I think that's awesome.
Well, I should get a cut from them, because honestly, I told so many people that. I'm like, you don't have an Instapot? Like, what are you doing in life? You need to get one. So yeah, Instapot is great because one, it's super quick. Okay, it's so fast. So there's a setting for 1 minute quinoa. 1 minute quinoa, okay, and usually it takes about 30 minutes on the stove. So one reason is I love it because it's such high pressure and high steam and high temperature. So it has a seal that you actually lock in, and it keeps that pressure and heat inside, as opposed to like a slow cooker where that heat can escape. So it takes like no time to cook your meals. And it has such a wide variety of stuff that it can do. It can even make yogurt. Like, what? Anyways, so yeah. And so there's a lot of different options. It's way faster. And one thing that I really like is I'm not really like a big grains person. Like, I don't eat a lot of really quinoa or rice if it's not made in a pressure cooker. The reason why grains cooked in a pressure cooker are better for you is because grains have certain proteins around them called lectins, and they're really hard to digest for us. And over time, that can build up and cause some clutter in our bodies. And so I like the Instant Pot because that's such high pressure breaks down those really hard to digest proteins. And so that's the only way that I'll eat grains or quinoa or anything is in the pressure cooker. So that's another reason why I love it. I don't know if the Instant Pot would have that on their website, but that is a huge benefit and a reason why I love it. And it makes such a big batch. Like, I can make a batch of quinoa or a batch of khichdi or a stew or a soup that will last me literally all week. So if I make that on Sunday night, I have dinners for the rest of the week. So it really takes out the time and the headache, of every night of the week. Like, oh, what am I going to make? What am I going to cook? What can I do that's healthy? What do I have in my fridge? It's like, it takes a little bit of planning on Sunday night to make sure that you have the right ingredients and they're healthy and you're ready to go. Make your stuff, and then you have dinners the whole week, or lunch, or you can do like a breakfast quinoa. I did that this morning, and it's just really, really versatile.
Really love that too, because so I thought like the way out for me for cooking, because I also can burn water really well. And I'm like, okay, then the crock pot's the way to go. So like then I asked my girlfriends, like, okay, give me some Pinterest crock pot recipes, whatever. So then I get all jazzed about it, and then I get everything for the crock pot, and it takes like 6 hours or 4 hours, and I'm starving by the time I even get it to the crock pot. So I love the idea of the Instapot because you can make such a big batch prepare meals ahead of time, and it's also restoring those ingredients that are so great for you. And just for anybody that's also just tuning in or watching, you can definitely leave comments and we will show them, and we will also do a live Q&A at the end of the session, which we are just about to hear. And one thing I love, Mimi, is your story that you share about your mom. Would you mind sharing that story? Because I think that that is just the center point of who you are and what you're offering to the world.
Yes, well, my mom, she is amazing, and she is the type of mom that I wish every girl had. But in 2004, she was diagnosed with breast cancer, and she had found a lump herself, and she went and got it checked out, and in fact, it was, cancerous. It was 2 centimeters, excuse me. And they scheduled her for surgery real quick, like almost like the next week. I think they said they had her scheduled for surgery. And as she was sitting in the parking lot of the hospital to get her surgery, she was praying and just like thinking, and she decided that she wanted to educate herself on her disease, and she didn't want to go through with the surgery right at that time. She wanted to, see if there was other options available to her. And she wanted to just make sure that she was making the best possible choice for her. So she told her doctors, and they were not a huge fan of this idea. They wrote her a letter and they said, if you don't get this surgery and chemo, you likely will die. But she was set, her mind was set on it, and she had to go to the library and check out books to educate herself about cancer and what she should be doing to try to keep herself naturally or build up her immune system to fight cancer. And she took out all sugar. She focused on whole food nutrition, and she hit the plant supplementation pretty hard. And she did this for 8 months. And when her doctors were telling her that like your tumor is going to grow and die, or you're going to probably die, when she was doing this nutrition protocol, her tumor didn't grow at all. And because she built up her immune system to be so strong through her nutrition, it didn't grow at all. And then she was able to have it removed successfully. And then she just continued with her proper nutrition. And she's been cancer-free now for 12 years. And I am convinced that she is here today because she chose that. And I just want to get the word out and empower people and educate people that getting a disease should not be. And if you do, or someone you love has some sort of diagnosis, think about it. Know that they're up. You don't have to make split decisions. So that's what she did, and it's something that she did. I would just really encourage everyone to learn about themselves. Just know that you have a choice. Every time you go to the grocery store, every time you eat, every time you choose something for your health, you're either choosing to feed health or feed disease. And she's a huge motivator. She's a huge inspiration for me. And I just love her, and I'm so glad she's here. And if I can help one other person by sharing her story, then that's amazing. And that was about.
Thank you for sharing the story, because I think that for a lot of people, cancer has touched almost all of our lives in some respect. And when that happens, you are just on this huge quest of searching for answers. And if you can find some solace in not only education and validation through nutrition, but actually that the effects are transforming and working in your body on a cellular level, is so powerful. And it's something that it doesn't have to happen when sickness strikes. But isn't that such a testimony that when it does, food can be a cure-all?
Yes, it can. Your body feels infinitely wise. And you just have to give it the proper tools. It can happen. You've got to give it the right tools.
And so, Meagan, what 3 tips would you give somebody? It's the new year. They're like, new you. It's the 26th. We haven't quite gotten into it, but it's there still. We have hope. What 3 tips could you offer to us that could maybe shift our mindset a little bit into a more healthier lifestyle?
I think the first thing that comes to my head is sugar is in everything. And many, many chronic diseases start with sugar and being fed by sugar. And it sounds hard because I know sugar isn't everything, but you really can change your palate to crave whole food nutrition, to crave, ingredients of one, right? Like the ingredient list is one thing, it's whole food. So that would be the first thing, is if you can shift towards whole food nutrition versus like packaged, processed things that have all sorts of different sugars in them. That's honestly where I start with a lot of my clients. It's just like, we gotta cut the sugar. When you do that, you're gonna feel better, you're gonna look better for sure, and you're gonna crave the things that make your body thrive, not just survive.
I love that tip. It's so true, because living with near proximity of my 81-year-old grandmother is amazing. However, she's so excited to bake me cookies all the time. And then I was like on a 4 cookie a day routine, and you just don't feel good. Like as soon as I wiped all of that out of my system to where I don't even crave it. I maybe want something sweet every once in a while, but I don't want to gorge on sweets. Mm-hmm. So I love that was your first tip.
Yeah, and I'd say to that is have those things taste good, but it's not working out. So something that's sugar or whatever, and use stevia or a natural sweetener, or use dark chocolate or almond butter to get that like really decadent flavor where you're satisfied, but it's not going to throw you off your goals, throw you off your path. So that's what I try to do a lot. Like, I don't eat anything that I don't love. And it's just about kind of leveling up. And you got to be creative and you got to look for it a little bit, but it's totally doable. And then the other thing that I would say is a lot of people just need to learn how to listen to their body. If you're constantly just eating because it's time, eating because, oh, it's noon, I better eat, rather than listening to your body and knowing, am I eating this because I'm actually hungry for it? Am I eating this because I need this fuel? Or am I eating because I'm just bored? Or because I'm sad? Or because, it's 5 o'clock and it's dinner time, right? So I think listening to your body and knowing how to really recognize hunger is something that, in a world of excess, when it's at our fingertips literally all the time, we can eat whenever we want. Knowing how to listen to your body and know that when you do eat, that it's actually truly hunger. I mean, that's like a major life skill that no one teaches you, right? Like, it's like 8 a.m. breakfast, noon is lunch, and 5:30 is dinner. So I think just having that awareness of your body is really crucial. So that's what I'm saying, listen to your body and pay attention to those cues. Being a little hungry is not a bad thing. Then you know that when you do eat, you're giving your body the nutrients and the nutrition that it needs, really.
I love that. The other day, and I don't know if you agree with this or not, but when I watch a documentary, I believe it to be the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Like, I just believe it, and that's what it is. So naivete, I don't know, but there's this documentary on it was like water fasting. And so I thought, there's different religions and people around the world. They have, there's just so much now information and awareness on fasting and that. So I thought, okay, well, I'm going to give it a shot, because if anyone truly knows anything about me, I am a foodie. I love food. there's like no end in sight. I never just get full, it felt like. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try this, just see how long I can go, right? So I made it 23 hours, which is quite a lot. I had a lot of water that day, which was amazing. But what that did was it retrained my brain and it rebooted everything. Like I was then craving more water. I was intaking more water. I was then socially and consciously aware of all the things I would have typically shoved in my face, like taco time. I had been at a family friend's house who we call her Mima, and you don't go to Mima's and not eat like good cooking, butter, cheese, everything. Like that's what you do at Mima's, and I was not eating. And so the 23rd hour rolled around, everybody finished dinner, and I was like, okay, I'm done. 24 hours, I'm up, I gotta eat. And but it's just true, like little tricks and challenges if you just educate yourself and really, like you said, what it feels like to be hungry. Like a lot of times it would become annoyance, but if you get past that and you learn to just listen to your body, it was really an awesome experiment that I did there. But I know that you can't see this, Meagan, but Ryan Black, he said, "You're killing it, babe." Such a huge, great inspiration for many of us. Strong and focused. That's the one of many things I love about you. You're gold. He sounds like a keeper.
He is a wonderful.
I love this. Well, thank you so much, Meagan. I am loving watching your story on Instagram. I cannot wait for the success of your career to take off. I think that your story really shines through. And when you're building a business solely from a place of you've been there, you've done that, you've experienced it. This is my story and I want to share it with you. And here's what you're bringing to the world. It's something that I know not only transformed your life in the process of doing it, but many, many others. And you are a huge inspiration. Your mother is a huge blessing and inspiration for all of us. And I wish you so much love and success on your journey. And for everybody watching, you can find out more about Meagan at getmimifit.com. You can also find her on Instagram. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining tonight. It's been a pleasure, and we will see you soon. Bye.